welcome to Nothing Ever Happens in Canada, but we know this is simply not true. This is a Canadian podcast about the myths, legends, and just good old stories Canada has to tell. I'm Canadian Girl. Thanks for joining me today on this bonus cryptid adventure about the Shunka Warakin, who had been spotted running around Saskatchewan and Alberta, as well as the devil monkey, who was spotted in BC. Bring those cryptozoology hats, maybe some binoculars, and a snack. We're off to go hunting for the exclusive Shunka Warakin. The Shunka Warakin is a beast that is so terrifying, it's said to be able to tear off the head of a dog with a single bite. It's able to disembowel a horse with one slash of its claws, and could completely destroy an entire farm overnight. Known as a ferocious hunter and seemingly fearless of all creatures, the beast has an appearance of a cross between a wolf and a hyena, described as having a very large and powerful jaw. If you translate its name, Shunka Warakin, from languages used by the indigenous, it translates to either takes off with dog or carries off dog. Legend says the beast would steal dogs from properties and make off with them without anyone seeing or hearing a thing. Often, the only evidence found at all that something had happened was some blood soaked on the grass. Farmers in Saskatchewan, Alberta, and across the border in Montana, Nebraska, and Idaho were on high alert for the Shunka Warakin, guarding their livestock as stories rolled around throughout the countryside of the beast. Some suspect the creature is a strange type of bear, wolf, coyote, or even an undiscovered creature. People who report or claim to have seen the creature are always adamant it was not just a bear, wolf, or coyote. Many claim to have been hunters for many years and would know what they saw, and this was very strange. One theory suggests it may be an ancient type of hyena, known to once live in North America 13,000 years ago, known as, I'm not going to say these names right, guys, but I'll try my best, Aboriphagus. Others thought maybe even a hyenodon, another extinct type of hyena very much resembling a hyena and wolf-like cross. They could reach a weight of about 60 kilograms or 130 pounds. Others like to think it's a dire wolf that has survived to modern times. People who argue this point tend to bring up the suspected dire wolf that some call the Wahila, that is believed to live in the Nahini Valley in the Northwest Territories here in Canada. Another common argument, and popular one, is that it's just a misidentified wolf. In 1991, the hyena-like beast was spotted by several witnesses near Legal, Alberta. It was seen pacing back and forth near the entrance of the Alberta Wildlife Park. Sightings continued between July and September of that year. The local coffee shop was buzzing with rumors about the beast. The 14 Times would report in the February to March 1992 issue that the creature had been seen and was very large, heavy set with dark fur, a sloping back, massive jaw, long front legs compared to the back, and looked extremely vicious. According to Mark A. Hall, a cryptozoologist, he saw numerous reports being made in the 1990s regarding a mean-looking dog, a huge mangy wolf, a wolf-like hyena, all being seen in Alberta, Canada, just north of the city of Edmonton. There were many reports outside of Gibbons, Redwater, and Bon Accord, Alberta. All had seen the creature around their livestock or in their fields. The creature was very elusive and very rarely came close to humans. There is even a recording made by one of the farmers that claims it laughed just like a hyena. The tape was dismissed as coyotes by the forestry experts here in the area and an African animal expert that was called in. A rancher in the Gibbons, Alberta area named Rocky Henson is the owner of the famous tape, and claims to have seen the beast. He believed it more to be an exotic pet that had escaped, and he also believed they had recaptured it, which explains why it was only seen in the area for a few months. Side note, I interestingly, in my own notes right here, for some reason without knowing, wrote, "He knows something," which I believe he does, but at this point, I really did not know that yet. Anyway, on paper, there has never been a hyena privately owned in Alberta. That doesn't mean one has not been brought here illegally. Rocky claims he was only 150 feet away from the creature when he first saw it. He said it shocked him, just like seeing a UFO. He made a tape of the creature's laugh and had his own experts review it, who indeed said it was a hyena. Rocky's farmland backs onto the valley straight across from the Alberta Wildlife Park in legal Alberta, where the sightings were first reported. Rocky claims to have confidential information that supports his theory, and he says he will not elaborate on it other than to say one or two or a group of people know what it was and where it came from, and that's all he would say. Another Alberta resident, known as Billy Kid, not to be confused with Billy the Kid, sorry guys, I had to, is from the Bon Accord, Alberta area. He is dead certain he saw a hyena. He says he has been a hunter for many years and seen wolves. That was not a wolf, he states. He would tell the writer Paul March from the Edmonton Journal on November 4th, 1991, page B3, that he himself, his son, and 2 others saw the beast from 225 feet away. In another paper, a headline reads, "Tracking the Beast, Mangy Wolf or Exotic Hyena?" Some point their fingers at a nearby wildlife park that's located 50 kilometers north of Edmonton, Alberta. The park claims to have never had hyenas, but others claim differently. Plus, the park is known to have animals escape before, and apparently, if asked, they'll deny it. But when you ask the people living in the area, they'll tell you a different story. When the records are checked, the park did in fact own a hyena, but it was over 10 years ago, and was later sold to another zoo. There is no record of them having one since then. Redwater RCMP also did receive 6 reports at the time around Lost Point Lake, which is just 10 kilometers northeast of Gibbons and Rocky's farm. In 2016, a Shunka Warakin was claimed to have been shot by a farmer in Garfield, Montana across the border. It looked like a wolf, but it had orange-like fur and an unusual body shape. When DNA samples were sent off and came back, it was just a 4-year-old male wolf who happened to have orange fur, and it was just a genetic defect. If you're really interested in sneaking a peek at the beast known as the Shunka Warakin, a stuffed specimen can be seen that was mysteriously lost, then recovered, and it doesn't quite appear as it once did, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's on display in the Madison Valley Historic Museum in Montana. DNA has not been done on this piece as there is a lot of red tape around who actually owns it and who would be able to authorize that. Some speculate the museum may be simply stalling to keep the mystery of the beast alive. I'll include a link below so you can check it out for yourself. Do you think there is or was a wild, ferocious beast like the Shunka Warakin running around terrorizing Alberta and Saskatchewan farmlands? Or do you think it was just a hyena that may have escaped from somewhere? Me personally, for this one, I think this was a hyena running around. It was only seen for a few months and then never again. I'm with Rocky on this one. Someone out there knows what it was and where it went. I just hope wherever it went, it was able to live out a happy life. To see pics of the beast, the links are always in the show notes below. We're off to British Columbia to explore a tale of the devil monkey. And we're also going to be making a quick stop in New Brunswick to check out a petroglyph. Grab your hiking boots, binoculars, and other hiking gear As we head out to the Garibaldi Provincial Park area to go looking around the Mamquam, I hope that's how we say this, the Mamquam River and Mountain Mamquam area to see if we can spot the elusive devil monkey. We're going to head almost 2 hours north of Vancouver to a place known as Garibaldi Provincial Park, just outside of Squamish, BC. But first, a description of what we're looking for. The devil monkey is often described as having very powerful legs, almost like a kangaroo, and is able to leap very large distances. It's also known to travel in a jumping fashion as opposed to just walking around. It's said to be more of a baboon-looking creature, not to be confused with the very famous Bigfoot that walks around all over BC. The devil monkey is said to be much smaller, standing only 3 feet to 8 feet tall, as compared to the massive Bigfoot, who is reported at 8 feet to 12 feet tall. He is said to be covered in short, shaggy, wool-like, red to dark brown hair. There is even sometimes reports of a black-colored one being seen, but these reports are very rare. They have long arms giving them that baboon look with wicked claws attached to their hands, and their face is said to be very dog-like. Their eyes are described as dark or even black, with no color in them at all, but if seen in the night will flash an eerie yellow. They also have very small pointed ears adding to their dog-like appearance. As for their tracks, keep your eyes open for very thin, long footprints with only 3 toes. Every sighting that has ever been reported has almost always found the 3-toed tracks in the area. Okay, now that we know what our devil monkey looks like, do be on the lookout for him, as we don't want him to be sneaking up on us. They have been known to attack humans and dogs without even being provoked. Some claim them to be omnivores, as they are known to eat plants and other animals, the largest being that of cattle. They tend to move around on all fours in a jumping manner, as mentioned above, though they can stand on their 2 legs when needed. Did you guys hear that? Be careful, everyone, and stay close. We don't want this devil monkey catching us off guard. In July 1969, in the same area we are in now, many people reported seeing multiple ape-like creatures walking around the forest, just off the trails. They would describe them as tall and lurking along the tree line in the Mamquam area. Ape researchers Renee DeHinden, I am so sorry for saying that wrong, and John Green. They would spend numerous hours interviewing eyewitnesses, and they found that the majority were quite credible. They even took casts of the 3-toed prints found in the area. Our devil monkey is also known to whistle, whoop, and scream. So if you do hear any of those noises, please let the group know right away. In Canada, there are many legendary creatures described in Indigenous myths over the years that could most certainly fit in with the devil monkey. Many of these myths come from the forest of Ontario and warn children of a creature that can run very fast and leap over extremely large areas, some even saying it could clear an entire field in just a couple jumps, or an entire road in just one leap. Some have been known to throw branches at humans, and even darker myths say that devil monkeys will kill a human and then stuff their body in the hollow trunk of a tree. So what is this devil monkey roaming around our Canadian forests? Is it an escaped zoo or circus creature, or possibly from a science lab? Most think this is not the case, as there are just too many sightings altogether. Most cryptozoologists suspect it is thought to be an extinct cousin of the baboon. Some speculate that it may be a very large fruit-eating spider monkey from Brazil that is thought to be extinct, or a large type of baboon from East Africa that lived 650,000 years ago. Some say they are just misidentified dogs, cats, or coyotes. The good news is it looks like we made it through that trail without running into any of these dreaded creatures. Thank goodness, because my heart was pounding the whole way. Oh, and I just wanted to show you one more small thing before we go today. And I've included a link below so you can check it out for yourself. Or of course, you can always see it at nothingcanada.com under the show notes section. Let's head on over to Grand Falls, New Brunswick to look at a 16-pound rock that was found depicting what is believed to be a petroglyph of the dreaded devil monkey. Painted in red ochre and believed to be done in the Paleolithic period, which is right when we were discovering how to use stone tools. It appears the people of New Brunswick may have just had their own devil monkey to deal with, thanks to this ancient piece of art that they left behind for us to find. Thank you so much for joining me on this bonus adventure today. And if you're ever out in Western Canada, watch out for these two. You never know what's lurking out in these Canadian forests. I'm Canadian Girl. Until next time, my friends.